Hello, boys and girls, ladies and gents, and members of the Big Red Food Army. It's your boy, Big Red, back for another restaurant invasion. And we're invading Mi Rancho, Mexican restaurant. And it's going to be a special episode because I got my friend Al here who does the music for Tungsten. And it ended up on the intro to White Trash Guide to Buffets Across America. I believe that's where I put it. Anyway, we're going to do something very special for you guys. We'll see you inside. Alright, so we're inside this joint, and unfortunately I can't understand a goddamn thing on the radio, so I probably won't be able to monetize it. Some Pancho Villa might be able to do it, but I won't. Anyway, so let me show y'all the food. We got this here, some kind of chicken nonsense, and some kind of enchilada nonsense.
Thanks, buddy.
And then I got some bean nonsense over here. You can see that. And then that's mine over there. That's Little Man's over there. He's already dug in. But, you know, like I said in the intro, we're here for one reason and one reason only. Not because Big Red likes freaking Mexican food, but because of this guy right here. That guy right there. So if y'all don't like the intro,
I've already got spillage on my shirt.
Whoa. Oh, shit.
Surprise.
So that's the gentleman that does the intro music to the White Trash Guide to Buffet. So we always talked about...
Thank you for using it.
Oh, thank you for letting me use it. But anyway, we used to go eat every Monday when he lived here in town. I've been knowing him since high school. And he was in a metal band, and he was nice enough to let me use one of his songs for my intro and one for my outro. And we used to talk about... We wanted to do that heavy metal meal show. Two big guys eating, talking about metal. So here we go. This is the inaugural video of that heavy metal meal. So let's talk metal, guys. And we got two guys off the camera.
Props. Look at this. This is what you drive to Texas for. This is real Tex-Mex food. This is awesome. So come out to Mi Rancho out in Spring, Texas, and come get this. This is really killer.
You gonna eat any of that lettuce, bro?
Yeah, I eat all this lettuce.
So yeah, that's what we used to do. We used to go out every Monday. Me, Al, and another guy. Y'all heard him on the video. He don't like being on videos, but we used to talk about heavy metal all the time because we would watch that metal show on MTV, and we'd all watch cooking and eating shows, and we're like, fuck, let's put them together and have that heavy metal meal. Why not? I mean, as if you couldn't tell that I ripped off Kiss with this shirt here. I mean, come on. Big Red Food Army. I mean, sue me, Gene Simmons. You'll get absolutely nothing.
He'll find a way.
He'll find a way to steal my last dead roach.
Right.
Hey, bro, can y'all pass me a napkin?
Try
I don't even know what the hell I got. It's something with chicken, jalapenos, and supposedly shrimp, but
I've never seen anything like that.
nope.
It looks like chicken parmesan.
It does look like chicken parm. Think I'm at Rocky and Carlos or something.
This is really good.
This is good as well. So yeah, let's talk metal. Freaking, what do you think?
What you want to talk about?
Before we kick it old school, what do you think of the new metal that's out now?
There's some great bands that are really talented. The only thing I'm not crazy about is like a lot of the productions of a lot of the bands are very similar to each other.
Yeah.
As far as like, because everybody's using Pro Tools or whatever to record, so everybody's drums sound the same, everybody's guitars sound the same. And, you know, 90% of the bands that are out do. But there's a few killer bands that are out. They're like, wow, man, this is really different. I like the way they recorded. You know, of course, I'm going to be partial to all the New Orleans bands. You know, of course. And I think they sound killer. You know, that's what we grew up listening to and watching and shit. You know, and supporting, and still do. You know?
I just discovered this new band like yesterday because I just got a new car and it's got 3 free months of XM radio.
Right.
And let me find out how much I used to hate XM radio because Hair Nation, you hear 2 docking songs every hour on the hour. You know?
Right.
And when you go under overpasses, it cuts out. It sucks. But anyway, I was
Like
listening
old
to
AM radio.
I was listening to liquid metal, and I got a band that came on called Hive Mind, and I YouTubed them to see what they were about. It's 2 black dudes, 2 white dudes, and they freaking jam. Holy crap!
I haven't heard it. Yeah, right on, man.
Oh my God, look at the onions on that.
They're still working on the Pechuga shrimp, sir.
What's that?
With the Pechuga shrimp, they're still working on that.
Oh, okay.
He said they're still working on your 3rd plate.
My third plate.
Oh goodness.
I was taking a picture of us.
Oh, taking a picture of us.
Yeah.
Take a picture of the picture.
Taking a picture of the picture.
Picture inception.
The picture of the picture, bro. So this is,
Oh yeah, because
man, that dude said the plate was hot. It was for real.
this is my chili relleno. This ain't even my chicken. Oh shit! I got a whole actual meal coming. Fuck me. This is my chili relleno. That's a big ass chili relleno. See, it's a good thing I'm eating this first, the cheese chili relleno, because you know when the real Mexican food comes, this will lock you up, and you know I won't spend 2 hours in the bathroom. You know, just loose as a goose and freaking green apple splatters.
I brought baby wipes in case you need them.
Dude, no, I'm all about the baby wipes now.
Oh man. A friend of mine told me about that back in like 96 or 97. And, you know, I kind of laughed it off. And
Until you tried it.
Until I
Because when you
tried
told me about it, I laughed it off too.
I tell you what, man, I don't leave the house without it. My bathroom always has it. I swear by it.
He laughs at me and he won't
Yeah.
even try. I tell him to try it.
Dude, I mean, you can't flush them. You got to put them in a
No, I bought a
bag.
flushable one.
Nah, I don't know if they'll clog up the toilet and shit. But I just, you know, throw the bag out or throw the trash out. So they stink like turds in the bathroom, you know, after you finish.
But hell yeah.
But But I think we're gonna be
That
safe.
didn't affect the way my food tastes at all.
Nothing.
Then again, you're the guy. I walked in home from work one day. Al's sitting at his computer eating a roast beef sandwich, watching 2 girls one cup. Oh, dude, you gotta see this.
Holy shit. You made a second stay in there.
Get on.
Round 2 for the stains.
Oh well. That's what happens. New shirt, man.
It happens.
Yeah, break it in.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I got this bird nest bib. Because it'll catch it, I'll have some later, and it keeps my shirt clean. If you may.
Pechuga shrimp, it's still a little hot.
All right. It's like a revolving door of food over here. Jeez.
Wish we had an aerial shot of how much shit's on this table. Anybody got a drone we can borrow?
Alright, everything okay, guys?
Yeah, man.
Very good, thank you.
Enjoy.
Y'all gotta go to the grocery store and go look
Yeah,
for
just keep
one
piling up.
$4
Keep stacking it up.
Look at that cheese. Look at that cheese pull. Look at that. Yeah, that'll clog you up real good.
Oh, yeah.
But when the dam bursts, you better watch out.
Yeah, because everything else on there is gonna shoot out like fire.
We've made my great grandma proud.
What you do?
You know, Grammy just has a habit that whatever dinner she's at, she has to bring up bathroom habits. So
She's a
it's
good
become a
lady.
thing. No matter what dinner I go to, if somebody brings up bathroom habits, I'm like, all right, we made her proud.
Bless you.
So, the 2 songs I use in my intro, in my outro, I use I think what the hell do I use? I think I use My Agenda and in the outro,
Yeah.
and what do I use in the beginning? I should have remembered it. I mean, it's been over a year since I made those. But anyway, go check out his band's stuff, man. Y'all haven't played in what? Damn near 2 decades.
Yeah. Tungsten. After the storm, it got put to bed. Yeah. It ran its course. That was it.
But the music's still out there, so check it out.
You can
y'all.
check it out. It's on. I just got some shit up on YouTube. Just whoever wanted it, and then people write to me, "Hey, I can't find it." I'll just send them MP3s of it, you know. So it's not on Spotify or not on iTunes or anything like that.
Old school.
Yeah, real old school. You know, it was a fun thing to do, you know, at the time and shit like that.
Or if
But
y'all have a used record store, go hunt the actual disc band. Check it out.
the Survival shit was cool. I thought that was a really good record.
Yeah, that was a good
Used
one.
too. Yeah. There's also the Mud Pigs. We got up on YouTube too, and some other stuff. So check it out.
Did you ever put the Sam Snot stuff out?
I got some of that up on YouTube. The last demo we did, Bobby Bergeron, who does Paranoids, the fanzine, has been running that zine. The longest running zine out of New Orleans, tracked that down. After the storm, I thought I lost all that shit. That was a dummy. I didn't bring any of that with me, you know. But he wound up finding it, and there was another guy, James Roundtree, he had the cover, and he had sent me a copy of the cover and shit. So I was able to take some tracks off of that and just throw them up online. Like, you know, somebody wants to listen to it, they can listen to my balls stink if they want to.
I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't want to listen to it.
Yeah, why not? 1 million views coming after this, huh?
Hopefully.
So, but after the, you know, especially, you know, without bringing up the cleanup, but that's what we always do every time we get together. There was a lot of bands that got lost, a lot of songs that got lost, and just to have those again, it's been awesome. And Bobby's been the catalyst for that, to be able to find these old demos and old recordings that never did get released, and to get them up online so we can at least listen to them one more time, man. That was part of our youth. I mean, we jammed all the big bands and put out records, but we jammed more to the local bands. You know, I would listen more to the demos of these bands than I would listen to Metallica or Slayer, you know?
And then even the demos of the bands that did make albums in New Orleans, the demos were way better. Like the Exhorter demo.
Oh my god, yeah.
Get Rude and freaking
Slaughter the Vatican.
The demo to Slaughter in the Vatican was way better than what they put out on Roadrunner.
I was telling Al that Decibel did a Hall of Fame on Slaughter at the Vatican, and that's what they were saying is a lot of people preferred the demo to the actual.
Yeah.
Because it was raw and it wasn't overproduced.
It wasn't overproduced. It was what they did at I can't remember the name of the studio. It was in Florida. I think Morris Sound is where they went.
Yeah.
Sepultura record, Beneath the Remains, came out and shook the underground. So everybody that got signed at that time, get that sound, get that drum sound, get that guitar sound.
Yep.
You know, they sort of had their own drum sound, their own guitar sound, man. You know, they didn't need that.
Years before Sepultura.
Yeah, you know, but
When I first heard the studio recording, I almost felt like I was listening to a different band.
right, it's still
liked it.
killer. It's still
I
killer.
liked the material,
Yeah.
but it didn't feel like I was listening to
You
Exhorder.
know, but I mean, it's just the purist in us from New Orleans are gonna like the demo
Because
better.
I listened to,
Because you were all about Incubus.
Incubus and man, that Exhorder Get
original
Rude, I wore.
Yeah, the original
I bet you I bought that Exhorder Get Rude demo.
Yeah.
At least 3 of them.
Right.
I'm wearing it out.
You know, I mean, Sean Ward is the one who taught me about Exhorder. I'd met the Exhorder dudes before down at WTUL bringing the Sam Snot tape and stuff to get it played, and I'd met those guys and everything, and it didn't connect the two until he sat me down. He goes, "Dude, you've got to hear this band." He put on, I think it was "Desecrated" was the first song he played for me, and it was just the production, that groove, that heavy groove, It's like, oh my God, this is local. He's like, yeah. He goes, hey man, they're playing at Storyville. Why don't you go ahead and me and you double date? Go to the show. I'm like, all right. So the girl he was seeing at the time and the girl I was seeing at the time, we bring them to Storyville. And so the first show, of course, the service show I see, this is before I really kind of knew Doobie. I knew who he was. He's in the front row, screaming at the opening bands, "Get off the stage!" I mean, this big menacing dude in front of that band just yelling at him, to get off the stage. So they finish. Zorder comes out. Jay and Vinny are in front of their amps, speeding back. Just and then Chris does that triple, and then kick into Legions of Death, and the place just goes fucking apeshit. So, of course, we got to pull the girls to the back. I see some guy get clocked in the face. His nose just starts gushing blood. Runs to the bathroom. I just got in X-ray school, so I think I have to save the world. See what happened to him. I run to the bathroom. I'm like, dude, are you okay? And he's like, yeah. And he straightened out his nose. He wipes the blood off. Wipes it off with his shirtless torso. And he runs back. Back in the pit. And then, so we get in the pit too, and it was just, of course, Storyville is spilled cheap beer everywhere, so it's slippery sliding. You're getting Doc Martens to the head every time you go around and everything. It was.
But that was when pits were pits, not
Yeah,
people
it
just
was
bouncing up and down.
No, exactly. It was very brutal. But that was, the introduction, and that love for Exhorder started there. But that's how we, to get back to the original subject, we were always very supportive of the bands, Like Shell Shock turning into Crowbar over the years, Jimmy and them doing I Hate God, Graveyard Rodeo.
And then you had the bands from the outskirts of New Orleans, like Acid Bath.
Acid Bath.
Not to be confused with the Acid Bath that was
Right, Kevin
Thomas's band.
Kevin Thomas. But they were a fun, punk rock band, But Acid Bath, that was again a Sean Ward thing. Hey man, come by the house. You got to hear this band. And that was the first demo I'd heard that blew me away, like the Exhorder demo. Hey, they're playing in Zeppelins tomorrow. Let's go. Blown away. Just how good they were, And still to this day, how much influence they have on a lot of the bands that are out there, because they went and toured like crazy. Like they were second band on a 5-band bill. They played all over the states, and every town somewhere got to see them and saw how good they were.
Well, that's, believe it or not,
Sammy, I love. If you ever get a chance to sit down and talk with Sammy,
Sammy's
that
awesome.
dude has got the best stories ever. Ask him to tell you about the Baltimore story with the wreck. Really fun.
Well, I know.
Can't say it here.
Right? Well, I know that when Dax went solo and was doing his own thing, now that TV show, iZombie, on the CW, dude, he's got the theme song for it.
Dax does?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Hello, Rent. Hello,
Yeah.
Light Bill.
Yeah.
Them checks
Hello,
coming in.
hello,
Hey,
Morgan.
these bands.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
But I remember that one show that you, me, and Al went to, the freaking Dead Horse, Soylent Green, and
Exodus?
Exodus at Jimmy's.
Yeah. December
It was right before
of
Christmas.
1990.
It was right before, or right after Christmas.
Now, the backstory of that was I think the Moon Crickets had played there before, a couple days before, and left that big Santa Claus there.
That got thrown in the pit.
Yes. So your boy Zetro grabs this big, huge plastic Santa Claus, throws it in the crowd, says, "Kill Santa!" Fucking everybody started like,
See, I remember that show ended up on the news.
yeah. Then there was a
There's
couple
four people got,
Ended
four
up on
cats got
stretchers.
pulled out off on stretchers in that pit. But then again, not Exhorder, Exodus was the Pitmasters.
Yeah, that was a fun show. I got a bunch of pictures.
Didn't you interview?
I interviewed Gary Holt.
Yep.
I don't know what happened there. That tape probably got lost in the storm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That videotape, Dead Horse, and a couple of those songs did survive. I was able to get that up and running online.
They just did a reunion show here, didn't they? Because they're from Houston.
Yes.
Yeah, they did their final show recently.
Yeah, it was a final show that they did. I think the last show at Twist of Lime, I believe, in New Orleans, in Metairie, they played. And just, I saw that version of the band over in Lake Charles with Choke a couple years back. They were really good, you know? It just, I don't know what happened. It's just like, why they get, you know, it's like them and Exhorder were kind of at the same time, and the first Dead Horse album was like, you know, really, really great, you know? And just, I don't know if it's like on a smaller label and they just didn't get the push and all that stuff. But I think they got tired of like trying to generate interest. It's like, I wish they would have took that overseas and played some of the festivals and got better management to put them on those festival shows like Exhorder's doing now and get the rightful recognition and accolades that they have deserved for years. You know?
25 years later, but now they're getting it.
Yeah, you know, I'm loving listening to the interviews. Penny, Kyle, everybody. It's really awesome.
Is Chris back in the band, drumming or no?
No, Chris has C&M Music. He has a couple music stores, I believe. I know he's got one over in Mandeville. And that was, you know, that was the thing. We were talking about this the other day. When we were younger, we were like, oh, no, it's got to be the original guy. It's got to be this guy on bass. It's got to be this guy on drums.
Well, let's face it, Exhorder, as long as it's Vinny and Kyle,
Right.
that's Exhorder.
And this is the thing I've always said, too. It's like, if certain cats can't get on the train with you and the train's getting ready to roll, get the people that are going to roll with you on that train that's coming out the gate. If you can't get on board, it's rolling without you. The train is going without you. This is how it works.
Yeah.
That's it, man. And you can't be mad about it. It's a job.
It's music business.
It's music business, you know. You can't be, you know, that loyalty when you're in your 20s. Like, no, we're going to wait for this dude to get his shit together. Then we'll play. You don't have your shit together? The train's going, man. Bye. We got to go, you know. And they did the right thing. The players that they got, you know, Jason from Heathen, and Sasha, and especially Marzi from here, from Houston.
Oh, Marzi's playing with them?
Yeah, man, they were awesome.
Yeah, I heard
They
that.
were super tight. When they did that New Orleans Lundy Draw show, hugged Kyle afterwards and said, man, this was beautiful. Keep going. Don't stop. You know?
Okay, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ready
excellent.
to finish up? More water? Or half and half tea?
Yeah.
Man, I'm full, bro.
Because hey, man, you haven't touched your main plate.
It was like
You haven't touched the lettuce or the tomatoes
it's
on
supposed
there.
to be beans, bro. I don't know if they put the hot lettuce on there, bro.
You get beans right there.
Yeah. Oh, there.
They hiding on you.
4 hours.
You're gonna need them after all that cheese. Thank you.
But yeah, it's like,
Did you guys ever go to any of the Franklin VFW shows? Like
I
back
went
when
to one back in the
Exhorder
day.
was first starting? My first show there was an Exhorder show, and I remember a guy coming up to me and asking me for my cigarette pack to put his tooth in it.
That's funny.
But it was so hot in
I
those
think my
places,
first, I think
and
my
they
first
served
show there was
hot beer.
Hot beer.
Yeah, hot beer.
I remember my first show there was a Graveyard Rodeo show
Yeah.
at the VFW Hall.
There were a lot of good bands.
Now, I was
it
a-
was so raw too,
Yeah.
though, and I guess that's the sound that I was used to between Exhorder and Incubus and all of those guys.
Right.
I mean, starting out, they didn't have a lot of money to have these PAs, and back then the technology wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
So it's just everybody plug in, crank it up, and let's go.
You just had a vocal PA. That was it. Like,
And it was great.
yeah, I'm gonna take a box, brother. Yeah.
No, I'm good, thank you.
No box? You crazy? Yeah, you can get a box.
You gonna take this?
Yeah, man.
It's two
He's
quesadillas.
not gonna let that go to
nacho.
waste.
So,
All right.
thank you, brother.
We'll put it in your box.
It's gonna fit in my box.
Yeah, put it in this box.
I got a box.
Make me
Put it in your box.
make me pack shit up.
Later on, like, oh, which way is something to eat?
Look at this. Is this going to be good later?
Look at that.
We don't know if that'll
I
be
think
good
it's not going
later.
to be later.
That's like one of those Viagra chips. That chip needs some Viagra.
Do you want this?
Oh yeah, bring that shit.
Oh yeah, can't leave without the cheese. Need a little blockage for after eating all this Mexican.
Digging in, actually all I got is one quesadilla, so
Yeah,
you should probably just fit that in there.
There you go. Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, I mean, we were lucky because of like what we grew up with. I mean, think about like you got the wall, you got
We had the sheds in Araby where we could see bands practice.
Yeah, music was everywhere for us back then.
And
Thank
then
goodness.
the thing about the recordings back then, everybody had to be in a room to jam. There was no emailing tracks back and forth and then piecing them all together. There was no auto-tuning. There was no freaking Pro Tools.
You had to be on.
You had to know how to actually play your stuff, too.
Yeah.
And there was no punching in shit either. Like when you was in the studio, if
One
you fucked
take,
up
man.
if you fucked up a take, you was starting over.
One tick. That was it. And that's where the bands, that vibe, that energy, and that attitude, you got that at that time can never be repeated.
No,
you know?
no. Well, that's like, I mean, what was going on in the 80s and early 80s to the early 90s couldn't do the same stuff that they did in the 70s. And that was only not because they weren't all in the same room jamming. It was because the technology and equipment was different.
Right.
Because, I mean, there was no way you were getting Jimi Hendrix sound in the 80s.
No.
You know, I mean, you weren't getting Led Zeppelin sound in the 80s, unless you were Zebra.
Right. Yeah. And that's a band that deserves credit too. It's like they were the first ones out the gate. The Zebra was, at the time you had to leave New Orleans.
Yeah.
You did. You had
And
to leave New Orleans.
they
to do
only
something.
toured the East Coast though, and they had shitty management. That's what happened to them.
But they got to give credit where credit's due. They opened up the door, so to speak. Behind the door, Zebra is.
Zebra's behind the door.
So they started, the next one out the gate was Relleno.
Yep.
Now this is after the producers and the Cold and the Normals and all those bands. That first wave of rock and heavy metal, gotta give credit to Zebra and Lillian Axe. They opened up the doors, and then
For the New Orleans
for the
scene.
New Orleans scene, Pepper going to COC, going to Raleigh, and Phil going over to Dallas for Pantera. That opened up that door for the next wave, for Crowbar, and Rodeo, and Exhorter, and everybody else. You know?
But in the same token, they were still doing it. I mean, the doors were open for them, but they were still doing their own thing in New Orleans. So, so it wasn't like when the rest of the world got their taste of Crowbar and their taste of Exhorter and their taste of, your band, for example. I mean, y'all were doing y'all thing back in high school,
Right.
Just under a different name,
Right.
So it was like the rest of the world caught up 15 to 20 years
But
later.
it usually works out. Because, I remember we were at Kirk's house, at Kirk's mom and dad's house, and he got a copy of Rock Hard magazine from Germany, from Goods. And in it was like a 2-page spread of I Hate God. It's like
In Germany, wow.
in German. It's like a picture of Mike, like on the ground on the stage, holding a microphone and all that stuff. And we couldn't read what it said, but it was after they put out their first record through that French label, that Intellectual Convulsion or whatever, whoever put it out, and they got it. Like Germany and Holland and all them got it. Day one. And they pushed those bands big time.
Well, Europe's
To see,
always been in the
like,
metal.
yeah, it was like to see a full page thing with like Kirk and them, or Kyle with Exhorter or Graveyard Rodeo on the cover of Art Inferno. That was amazing. It was really great. Like, wow, I just drank with that dude 2 days ago.
Right.
On the cover of this German magazine. It was just a celebration for our friends that they finally got the just reviews and just.
And then too, like, but Europe's always been about the metal. It's like,
and whatever they're into, it's like you said, it's 15 years later that here would understand, and now it's people understand. They go check out the bands and go see the shows and everything, You know, but there's like another wave of bands coming out of New Orleans now. You know, but we all get guilty. You know, we get old. It's like, all right, you got to pick and choose which shows I go to.
Yeah, because staying up till 2 in the morning these days, in mid to late 40s ain't happening every day, kids.
Don't start a gig at 2 o'clock in the morning. Jesus, man, come on. I go work in 3 hours, you know? So, you tend to...
Well, at 2 in the morning, I'm probably just waking up. You know, it's like, go to bed at 9 in the morning, going to bed at 9, waking up at 2 to use the bathroom, can't go back to sleep while I'm up for the day. I guess I'll go to a gig.
Right. So we definitely had some great moments there in the area. And we were just lucky to have that surrounding.
You might have to call Monday.
Actually, hasn't even happened yet.
What is it?
Dead Horse, final show.
Okay, that's a Scout Bar. Okay. Oh, yeah.
Little man's got to piss. So they playing the Scout Bar? What day is that?
Saturday.
Scout Bar.
This Saturday?
No, Saturday, August 25th.
August 25th.
Pasadena Napalm Division, Force Fed, Baron von Bombblast, Cottonwood Blossom, and Screw Missile.
My introduction to Dead Horse, other than the record, was when you took me and him to freaking that show with Exodus.
Yeah.
And that was my first time ever seeing them live, and I was so after that. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
These dudes
They
are
opened
freaking
up with
amazing.
Murder Song, man. That, like, look at that, you know? Wow.
That
They were
fucking
one of the
blast
tightest,
beat. Yeah.
tightest bands you would ever see come through town was Dead Horse.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
They were a solid band.
Without a doubt. First saw them open for Disorder over at Storyville, and I bought the record, you know, at the show, just turned it on to everybody back in town, back in Chalmette. Great.
To me, they were always like the Exhorter of Texas.
Yeah.
They were like Texas's answer to Exhorter.
Right. It was one of those bands that influenced a lot of other bands, just like Exhorter influenced a lot of other bands that didn't get the credit until a long time later.
And then, the other thing that I always found interesting about the New Orleans scene was New Orleans had 20 metal musicians and 50 bands.
Exactly.
You know, you had like
The revolving door. And I remember this too, like when, all right, so Kirk and them were getting ready to, nobody tried out for bands, okay?
No, it's just you got together and jammed with your friends.
Nothing, no, there was
band
none of that.
turned-
It was, I'll never forget, it was at a park, like Steve Joseph used to have the swim parties at his mom and dad's house. And I think Kevin Noonan had quit playing with Crowbar, and they had gotten Danny for a little while to play guitar. He did their first European tour with him, and then he quit. So they were down to a 3-piece, you know, recording the second record. And Kirk was doing most of the guitars, and Greg doing the drums, and Todd doing the bass and all that. And I remember we're at the party, and then Kirk comes up to me and goes, "Oh yeah, Matt's going to be our guitar player." You know, he goes, I didn't even, you know, we don't try out. I know he plays good. You know, and that was it. Matt's their guitar player now, and that's how he got in the band. And, I mean, you know, that's how a lot of those bands operate, like a tryout.
Right.
It was just like, you knew they knew how to play, because you've seen their bands play. You've seen them play live in other bands, you know. There's no tryout. They just come, I'll show you the songs when you come to practice, and you're in the band. We're going on tour in like a month.
Right.
That's it.
You got a month to learn the shit.
Yeah, that's it.
Let's do it.
You know, just based on your hanging out ability, you know, it's like if you're cool to hang out with, drinking, and you know, you can hang out a long time without annoying each other, you're in the band. That was it, you know. So, but that's how a lot of that, and it's right, the revolving door. Everybody was like, and there was no like, if somebody stopped playing, it's like, oh fuck you, we're not talking anymore. You know, it's like, hey, all right, we'll still be cool.
Thank you.
You know, it's always been a very supportive scene with each other. There's never been any animosity towards other bands. It's just been, you know, very supportive.
And then New Orleans.
Like, I remember hearing about, like, bands out in Los Angeles ripping off flyers off the poles. I wouldn't like that band. I'm going to put our flyer up. Our rules were always, and everybody followed it, was if the gig didn't happen yet, don't put your flyer over.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of, it was this unwritten law, you know, that everybody follows.
And then you had other people that would help put out other people's things.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to put out flyers. You want me to put yours out too?
Yeah, I mean, there was many nights Doobie and I used to go to Kinko's,
Yep.
me making flyers for Graveyard Rodeo, and me making flyers for Tungsten or whatever, and we'd go pass out flyers. We'd stand outside of Last Stop or Pino's or wherever, or go down on Decatur Street on the,
Put them on that abandoned
flyer,
building.
yeah,
You had a flyer wall.
flyer wall, you know, and then
Because
go get something to eat. Like
Because I remember going out, going to Kinko's. You remember
Crawfish and
Kinko's?
Laramans. That's what we do.
Freaking going with Jay Thrash and that to go
Yeah.
make flyers for a Christ inversion.
Right.
Because Doobie was like, dude, I ain't going out, it's too hot. So me and Jay would go out, make the copies, and then go pass out flyers for Christ inversion.
Yeah.
You know, and
Because it was just, that's what you did. We didn't have computers. We didn't have internet. We didn't
internet
have
was-
cell phones.
no, it was all.
It was like you'd get a piece of paper and you'd get a bunch of stuff and you'd cut it out and you'd glue it or you'd put
There was no
scotch tape on
Photoshop.
top of it. No
Photoshop.
Photoshop. And then you make a copy of it and you take white out and you get rid of all the lines and make it look like it was professional and then make 50 to 100 copies, shrink them, chop them up, make another 100 copies. You had a stack of flyers and you would just,
Go pass them out at
Pass
other
them out.
shows.
right.
The Christ inversion, that's the one that Phil
Yeah,
sang
Phil,
for, yeah.
Phil played guitar.
Oh, he played guitar?
Yeah, he played as Alistair Crowley.
Okay.
Anton
Crowley, that's right. He took Anton Crowley. Because he was still under
under
that was
contract with
under
the
with
band
Atco.
Terror, bro. He couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it because of Atco Records.
Damn.
So he used an alias.
Yeah. So,
Oh,
but he's
love
always
them
kept
live.
his foot in all of the bands, anyways. Which, and that's what he would, you know, we were talking about that too, that he would make demo tapes. He'd make copies of, and he did it for, like, I know, a bunch of other bands that he did that for. If he liked the bands, he'd make the tape, give it to people, like, hey, listen.
Or he would wear their shirts on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
That was your
That's
best
huge.
free commercial you could possibly get. Was that, you know, he did that with Crowbar and I Hate God, you know, and then that, you know, it's like, well, I like this band. What's that band he's listening to that he's advertising?
Right.
You know, it helped say
And
fight us,
think about this.
reactivate, you
He
know.
had, he had the world as a stage. You know,
Oh, sure.
Back in the late 90s, late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, he was the spokesperson of metal, the
For a while.
ambassador of metal for a while. You know, where everybody wanted to see what his opinion was on bands, but I mean, I remember with their first couple tours and Goods, you know, running into him from Rock Hard and all that. So yeah, man, he came to Germany, he brought demo tapes of these bands, you know, and he was instrumental in getting Rodeo signed with Central Media. Because he had, you know, the guy from Central Media at his house, and like had the rodeo guys there. It's like, here, come listen to their tape. They need to be, you need to put this out, you know.
And then he was friends with Mad Max from
Right.
from what was that, Z-Rock.
Z-Rock.
And you know, he had him in it. I remember
Sure.
Max got fired for playing Christ Inversion at midnight because the intro was they looped The Exorcist. Let Jesus fuck you. Let Jesus fuck you.
Oh,
Let Jesus
whoa.
fuck you. And he played it on the air. And
You can't do that.
but he figured it was like midnight. Nobody's
midnight to
listening.
6?
Yeah. Well, somebody from the FCC got a hold of that. And, well, Mad Max got fired.
George Carlin got arrested for that in the 70s. You can't, even from 12 to 6, you still can't do that on the radio. That's crazy. But that's cool, man, that they used to, you know, any kind of push for those bands are always great. You know, especially the New Orleans bands.
And then New Orleans also, I mean, they had the heavy scene, and then they still had the hard rock, quote unquote, glam bands that were killer too. I mean, like Lillian Axe
Oh, love
was
Lily
killer.
Axe.
What was that other band? Gunslinger?
Gunslinger, right?
Remember Gunslinger?
Whiskey Wild,
Whiskey Wild.
Fahrenheit, and what was the other one?
And that was all just hard rock, glam
Right.
type stuff.
Because they all used to play, I mean, they did the Big J cycle, the Big J circuit. You know, it's all through Texas, the Bayou circuit, up through into Mississippi, into Jackson. You know, just back and forth, back and forth.
And if you got big enough, you went up the East Coast, like Zebra did.
Right, Zebra did. And, you know, you would get to open up for the national touring acts and stuff, you know? And those were fun. That's what the girls went to those shows.
Yeah, that's where you went to get laid.
Right.
If you wanted to hear, like, something heavy and get in a pit, you went and seen,
Go to the Exhorter show.
Exhorter, Soil and Green.
Soil and Green, yes.
Soil and Green, I still say they never got the recognition they deserve.
Yeah.
But there's two different eras of Soil and Green.
Right. There's the Paul Di'Anno version, and then there's the Bruce Dickinson version.
Yeah.
You know.
And
I like both, but I mean, dude, we grew up with Glenn,
Yeah.
and Ben's an awesome dude too.
I
We
love
love
Ben,
Ben
yeah,
as
Ben's
well.
awesome.
We love both versions. You know.
But the one we grew up with, I mean, 'cause we went to high school with these dudes.
Yeah.
That
You know,
was,
we used to hang out at Acorn Records.
Yep,
you
Acorn
know?
Records.
And be
And then go to
thumbing through the vinyls.
then go to McDougal's and get your iron-on shirts.
Yeah, with the space tape name on the back, bro. I got my Ozzy Diary of a Madman over at
I got mine
at
at
McDougal's. And I got my bowl haircut at Rose's in Village Square, too. Kept that bowl haircut like that all through high school. No wonder there was
I was pushing the limits in high school with the hair, getting kicked out every other year.
well, y'all had to go through all that shit where y'all had to put the hair up and
Yeah, we couldn't touch our collar.
couldn't touch your collar.
Yeah,
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
you were what? You were a senior when we were freshmen, right?
Yeah, because I wound up, like, the last year I went was the last year that
It was
separated
all
all boys, which was dumb. That's a dumb idea. They separated the girls and the boys. In 4th grade, when the girls went to Araby Park and they started their periods, they thought they were going to reduce teen pregnancy, and it didn't work.
It didn't work. It just made more whores.
Right. So we go to Chalmette Middle. I'm socially awkward and don't talk with chicks because they don't want to mess with us because we had bowl haircuts and a comb in our back pocket
And tube socks.
white tennis shoes and tube socks and tight Levi's on and an Aussie shirt
In a beard at age 12.
and a beard at age 12. Damn you. No.
But yeah, I never did get that whole.
That's all it was. It was just so you wouldn't be, not. You'd be piddling in class and trying to get this girl's attention. They wanted you to listen to see what Mr. Bigford had to say, about Hemingway.
But what's
That's
weird
it.
is like y'all went to Chalmette Middle,
Yeah.
and that was all boys, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fuck, MP Trust, where I went,
Those
for
girls and
7th grade,
boys.
there was boys and girls.
Right.
Yeah,
So
and then
why
my
did
first
they-
year at Chalmette High was all boys.
All boys, yeah.
And then they brought the girls.
They brought the
And
girls
brought-
in like 2
and
years
that's
after I
be-
left.
No, that was the next year.
Next year after I
Yes,
left.
that one.
That's because I think some chick's parents was going to sue him because she wanted to go to
Yeah.
Chalmette High.
She really wanted to go to Andrew Jackson.
Abortion Junction.
That's funny.
Everything okay, guys?
Yeah, everything's good, man.
Will it be all one tip or separate?
How you want to do it?
I'll give you
Okay.
and the
I'm
case.
gonna-
So
And I'm going to.
I'll give him the case up on the other.
Okay. And you by yourself, sir?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very cool.
No, I mean, yeah, the New Orleans scene always. I mean, New Orleans music in general. Yeah, we're talking metal, but I mean, let's face it, jazz,
Right.
blues. I mean,
Dude, think about it. You got Fats Domino, Louis Armstrong, the Neville Brothers,
Yep.
the Meters. I mean, this is
now you got the whole New Orleans dirty South rap now. I mean,
Right.
it's like it's like New Orleans has always been a hotbed for any type of music.
now the metal and rock didn't get. I mean, I remember it was like trying to pull teeth to try to get the newspapers to do anything for the band.
Yeah, because we were all the devil's spawn.
Right. They finally did later, and they finally realized, like, look, man, that there's something going on here that the rest of the world is aware of. We need to maybe push a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's
talk about
exactly how it
it
was.
just a little bit in the newspaper.
Well, what's interesting, like I said, I just got that new car and it's got the XM radio. I was listening to an interview with Dee Snider
Yeah.
from Twisted Sister yesterday, and he said something that made me laugh. It's like, metalheads are more well-adjusted adults than anybody else. And he said the reason was because we had an outlet to let anger out.
We did.
You go to a show, you get your anger out, and after, you might have got beat up in a pit or, broken arm, broken nose, but after you're hugging the guy next to you, you're shaking hands, or you're making friends with him.
Right.
You don't do that at a Justin Timberlake show. You might blow somebody in the back, or he might blow you, but I mean, you're not,
At the VIP tickets, $100.
$100 get blown by Justin Timberlake.
He'll give you a backstage tour.
He'll got Ambisol because his jaw hurts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I found that interesting. And he was saying that there's some Psychobabble magazine, like Psychology Today or something, is doing a study on that.
And it's true. I mean, even as adults, you can't go to every show. You just can't. You got to go to work. You got to pay bills. Because your whole adult life is 20 hands out like this that you got to pay. So, but once a month, get out there, go see a show, local band or whoever, and get your aggressions out.
Go see some live music.
Live music.
But anyway, all right. So
quit doing this your whole life.
Yeah. Notice, we have a camera running, and but you never seen either one of us sit there and text, and we're having a conversation. Turn off the TV.
We've been guilty. I've been guilty too. You sit there and stare at Facebook for hours.
Turn off the TV. Turn off the TV. Put your cell phones away. Have a fucking conversation when you're having a meal.
Right.
Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up here. Okay, so y'all know y'all want me to rate the damn food. It's Mexican. Y'all know I don't like Mexican, but I mean, as far as Mexican goes, I'm gonna give it at least a 4-star. Because, I mean, it was flavorful, and, star my ass. It's getting 4 flip-flops. Y'all know how I rate this shit.
I don't know. I like this shit. I drove
6 hours.
6 hour drive.
7.
9 hours.
Yeah, because he drives like an old papa. I mean, check out the Grays.
I stopped on the interstate at the 45 and 10 split, and like down to like 10 miles an hour, so I could take a couple pictures. the city side view, whatever, skyline. Thank you. And everybody was blowing their horns. This was like 5 o'clock in the evening.
Rush hour traffic.
Sorry, Houston. Not sorry.
That's so funny. But yeah, so
everybody's shaking their fist at me like, damn Louisiana driver.
Again, I don't know what I had. I know I had 2 enchiladas and some. I had a chili relleno, and then some kind of chicken with shrimp, and it was good. 4 flip-flops, and so y'all know the drill. Over here, there's that subscription button. I don't know what you're not. Subscribe, it's free, goddammit. Then hit that notification bell, notify you when I have new content over here. Not his gut, not my gut. It's the thumbs up or thumbs down. Boom, boom, hit me with one. It doesn't matter which. It just lets me know you're watching. Down below is the description with links to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Link to this channel's homepage where you can find all the older content. And then down below, you have the comment section. Type me one. Type me out a comment. Show me yours and I'll show you mine, comment. Not y'all don't want to see that.
Thank y'all for watching all this stuff.
And I want to thank Al for letting me use his music for an intro. Thank you for talking metal with me. Inaugural version of. So is it recording again?
It's recording?
Yep, it's recording again. Anyway, so thank y'all.
Awesome to get to sit down with all y'all to have a meal together.
Hey, no, it was
I've been
awesome.
looking forward to that.
I haven't seen this cat in 5-6 years, and I hope it's not that long again.
It won't be.
So anyway, thanks for watching. I need y'all to do me that favor now. First, go check out his band. Check out all the old music that he put out, and then. Tell your ma, tell your pa, tell your greasy grandma, share the video with your family and friends. Show them how you get down with Big Red, and maybe they'd like to get down with Big Red too.
And when you come to Texas with that 105-degree heat, you get grandma beads and duck butter. That's all. Goodbye.
You gotta wash your ass, like Red Fox said. I'll see you guys when I have another restaurant to invade. I gotta go probably take a shit.